Hello, welcome to my show. This morning we're going to listen to the Uvalde tape that was released. Um, they have edited out the sound of children screaming, so we don't have to be concerned that that's something that we will hear. I'm going to make the screen bigger. I think it's 3 minutes long, 3 minutes and 50, 4 minutes long. Okay, and it starts with a warning that the following video footage and audio is disturbing and viewer discretion is advised. We're watching it because it needs to be seen to help put to bed the myth that inhabits too many people's brains, too many voters' brains, the myth that what is the solution to the problem of gun violence is more guns, that in order to contend with a man with a gun, you need good guys, more good guys with more guns. And we're going to watch all of these men with guns who were too afraid to go into a room or to try and go into a room where there was a man with a gun shooting children and their teachers to death. There's only audio in parts of it, so that's when he crashed his grandmother's SUV.
I can't see him now. I cannot see him. The kids are running. Oh my God. Get in your room. Get in your room.
Good, darling, I'm doing a broadcast. They're afraid. And if grown men are afraid, naturally afraid of facing someone armed with an AR-15, then the answer is not to supply them with more AR-15s. The answer is to digitize national background checks, to follow up on the federal action that's recently been taken to close the boyfriend loophole with regards to a ban on possessing guns if you've been convicted of assaulting a domestic partner. 48 minutes later, there are children bleeding to death in their classroom right now. Seven minutes later, one officer gets hand sanitizer. second because it just went so quickly. So 57 minutes, the hand sanitizer, and then another 20 minutes reach the classroom. The man on the right is probably the man whose wife was a teacher who had called him to tell him she was dying and she'd been shot. So the man on the right of the Okay, let's look up the name of the man whose wife was a teacher. Yes, it is sickening, and I hope it emboldens more people. I hope it helps more people arrive at an epiphany that America's homicide rate is so much higher than the homicide rate in other developed nations because killing people is easier here. Police officers are more likely to lose their lives in the course of their duties in states with looser gun regulations. So it's a lie told powerfully and repeatedly to the American public that the phrase a well-regulated militia, which opens the Second Amendment, somehow isn't relevant or should just be ignored. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the safety and security of a free state, the people shall, the right to bear arms shall not be infringed. It's the right of the people in the well-regulated militia who can have the right to bear arms. So if you're in the army or if you're in the National Guard, yes, you should be allowed access to weapons to defend your state, to defend your nation state. And the lie that the well-regulated militia just means individual Americans is a lie that has caused so many deaths and has ripped so many families apart unnecessarily. And I don't think those of us who understand this should just sit back and wait for a certain number of people to catch up. We have to deputize ourselves to communicate that message, to say it is a murderous lie to tell people that civilians should have AR-15s. It is a murderous lie to tell people that it is necessary for their safety to carry weapons of mass murder. Lots of gun owners agree with that statement, and maybe we can start with that because you build consensus. You start with yes, and then you go on. And if you can say yes, background safety checks are necessary. Yes, AR-15s are not necessary for personal defense. Then you're becoming more congruent with reality, a safe reality, and not this this American carnage that we see. So Jules said this is sickening, and I don't disagree with you, Jewel. Nobody does. And I think that video has helped some people understand that venerating police officers and pretending that they have somehow superhuman levels of bravery or superhuman levels of commitment to preserving the safety of others, or the safety at least of innocents, isn't true. They also feel fear. They were too afraid of being shot by high-powered weaponry, by being shot by bullets from high-powered weaponry to breach that unlocked classroom. All right, so let's look at some other commentary from Twitter about that video, because people have made some good points. And I'll amplify them. So Chris Murphy notes that the Uvalde video puts to bed forever the question of whether the way to deal with bad guys with guns, is to make sure there are more good guys with guns. We've always known it was the gun industry created lie designed to sell more guns. Now we have the gut-wrenching proof. So yes, the families that know their children were in that classroom, that their children potentially could have been saved, but for 77 minutes, there were officers outside checking their phone as this officer is doing, applying hand sanitizer. Let's look up Uvalde police officer whose wife was one of the teachers killed. The officer was Ruben Ruiz. He received a call from his wife, Eva Morales, who told him that she had been shot. It was originally claimed that officer was disarmed and escorted away, but that might have been the person in the corner of the room. He tried to move into the hallway. He was detained and they took his gun away from him and escorted him off the scene. I don't know. So I don't know for sure if that man was escorted away, but in any case. So Ruben Ruiz received a call from his wife, Eva Morales, telling him she'd been shot. And that's a photo 57 minutes into the shooting of an officer applying hand sanitizer. Have they blurred out people's faces, or is that just coincidental? These people are saying that they can't get over the guy putting on hand sanitizer while babies are dying down the hall. It's to be hoped that these incidents help bring things into focus for those who have always said, oh, well, it's a problem that more guns can fix. If you look at the statistics, more police officers die in states with looser gun laws. But even in states with tighter gun regulations, people can cross state lines with weapons that they have purchased, evading background checks, evading licensing requirements. America's borders are porous, internally porous to guns. So even though one state's tighter gun laws are likely to reduce the incidence of gun violence, and do. Statistics bear that out. It doesn't prevent gun violence to the extent that they could otherwise do because of the laxity of gun safety laws in certain places where too many people, where there is whether it's gerrymandered or not, there's too many voters who accept America's high homicide rate as just collateral damage from their enjoyment of gun ownership, their enjoyment of using and collecting guns, and feeling emboldened by the famous Heller decision of the Supreme Court, which in 2008 did a lot to hide the relevance and the critical relevance of the first phrase of the Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia. And I will bring it up because I want to be able to quote it accurately. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So you often see brandished as a slogan, simply just shall not be infringed by people on the right. Essentially, conservatism to them is the right to tell people what to do and not be told what to do. So when you see these people, they are like spoiled children who have felt confirmed in their entitlement to tell others what to do and to refuse to be told what to do. So they oppose licensing requirements, any effort to introduce gun regulations, and they howl that their rights shall not be infringed, and that their rights are God-given. So in that way, you can see how some people use religion as a crutch to prop up their narcissism, their swollen self-regard at the expense of other people's safety. I'm writing down the phrase swollen self-regard because I'll use it again. It's apt. The Pro-Truth Pledge at the Mobius Fund says, this is hard to see, but thank you for showing it. I am sharing it in... What's that? Thank you. Thank you. I'll keep this broadcast short. I have to go, but I hope everybody, yes, to look at the Twitter conversation. They had bulletproof vests. They had training how to duck bullets in split seconds. They were heavily armed, and yet none of these resources motivated them to help the kids or the teachers in a more timely fashion. So that's all. That's all. Take care, everybody. Don't forget to help advocate for easy access to the vote from citizens in your state and in your nation. I can't vote. Fair's fair. I'm not a citizen yet. But to those of you who can, please participate in elevating the discourse in the United States so that it's not childish arguing over who's being a bigger hypocrite, but that it's potent, clear arguments on how safety is compromised by gun proliferation, by under-regulated gun proliferation, that there are more deaths of officers when people have more guns are stolen, more guns are put into circulation in criminal communities. It is tiresome that so many lives are taken as a consequence of the illogical and poor quality thinking of people who say, no, I'm not part of a society, I just have to take care of my own. That type of antisocial reasoning has facilitated this current crisis in the United States, this current level of carnage, and of children in schools psychologically bearing the brunt of this failure. Okay, someone says, thanks, Dav. Yes, oh, you're posting it to Facebook. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for listening, everyone. Take care and talk soon.